Our Miami Heat, it's always a disappointment nowadays. You talking about them, so all right.
Yeah.
Since it's gloomy outside, I don't know if I want to start with they ass, because they just gonna make
I
the
mean, we might as well start with it. I mean, it just the weather is kind of indicative of our feelings right now when it comes to the Miami Heat. You might as well call us the Miami Cold, man. Like, cause we ain't hot.
yeah.
You know what
We
I'm saying?
definitely
At least right now, that's how we feel. And we may, still make the playoffs if we beat
mhm.
whoever we play the next day. But let me officially start this thing off, though. This is the MarcWes Sports Podcast. I'm Marcus Benjamin, chilling with my guy, Wesley Pierre, and we bring you that real sports talk from the crib. So, like we was just talking about, man, Miami Heat laid an egg last night at home against a team we usually beat in Atlanta. I don't know what was going on, and I actually almost didn't watch the game. Like I get so like concentrated with work. Like I get so focused, I be missing shit. You don't know, but there's Champions League, which is the biggest soccer tournament. I totally missed it yesterday. It's during the day at 3. Totally missed it. And I got alerts on my phone, bro. Like that tell me, yo, bro, it's on. And I still missed it. So I caught the game like towards the end of the third quarter. And
Okay.
then I caught the rest of the fourth quarter. So I was just like, damn, man. When I seen it, I was like, okay, I think we're down by maybe 12 or something like that. I was just like, we can still come back. Ain't no thing. We at home. And then I seen Kyle Lowry decided to actually have a good game, bro. Like I was just like, okay, this guy's hitting shots, getting into the paint, doing his regular, mischievous stuff too, drawing these crazy fouls like he
Mhm.
does, which is, Bush League, I guess you could say, but since he's playing for our team, it's okay. I was like, okay, how come I haven't been I haven't really been watching, but like how come I haven't been hearing that he hasn't been doing this all season and he waits
He
until this
hasn't.
game to do it
He's
and
trying.
then find it. But like, I don't know, man. Like when I was watching the game, and tell me like if this is what's been really happening all season, it's like Jimmy does his thing, does his thing, and Tyler Hero generally does his thing, but they still be losing.
Hmm.
what but they still be losing. They got virtually the same team. Who they missing from last year? Are they missing anybody that you could think of? Like, oh, we don't have this player from last year, the team that
Probably,
almost made it to the finals. I
probably
can't even.
PJ Tucker.
Yeah, PJ Tucker. But still, PJ Tucker was a guy who really just was defending. He rebounded. He hit you a 3 every now and again. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? He wasn't really. He's not a reason you should lose to the Atlanta Hawks. You know what I'm saying? It's basically what I'm saying. If we was playing like, I don't know, Milwaukee and we was losing like this, then I'm like, oh well, we don't have PJ Tucker. You know what I'm saying? But like against the Hawks, where we were just getting out rebounded like a bunch
It
of
was,
hoes,
it was
like
on
it was,
purpose.
oh come on, man.
No. When you hear what I'm saying, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it does make sense." I mean, because who will we play if we actually the 7th seed? Boston. And
Okay.
Boston for the last 2 years been having our number.
We
Last
almost
year's
beat them last year. It was we were
what
one
happened?
shot away from beating. We were one shot away from beating them last
Hold on,
year.
hold on,
What do
hold
you
on.
mean?
Almost, almost.
Compared to how we get waxed by Milwaukee?
I
Remember that last
mean,
time we got swept by Milwaukee?
it's a better lineup though. Even what Milwaukee, at least you able to put Duncan Robinson in the game. I mean, Milwaukee is good, but I think we just match up better with Milwaukee, even though Boston is a powerhouse too. They got they I think they got better people with better agility, and they're more athletic, so they're able to stay in front of us. a lot better than if it was playing Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee, you got Giannis and you got Middleton. Besides him, everybody else, they're up and down, just like our starting, our big three, our small three is actually looking, they point guard is up and down. Sometimes he defend. I mean, for the most part, he defends great. From what I hear, because I don't watch Milwaukee like that. But if you got the number one seed, then you're actually doing something right. But I just think that we just match up better with Milwaukee, even though Milwaukee probably, and to some people, is a better team, collectively. But I don't think they wanted to play Boston. They didn't want to play with Tatum and Brown against Tatum and Brown. They didn't want to have to deal with that. And not just that, but who would rather play Boston right now? I know I'm not trying to play Boston right now.
Play Boston than Milwaukee, bro.
Not me. Because, like I said, again, Marcus, you haven't been watching, that sport like that. So when I see them playing against Boston, when we do play them, it's harder for us to score. I mean, it's hard for us to score, period, this year. I don't know what the hell is the problem. But really, when we play Boston and teams that have people that have lateral movement, like you can move left and right, stay in front of me, we tend to have a harder time. We do that with Boston and we do that with the bad teams. Now, again, Atlanta, they just before the game, they were talking about they're open to trading, their point guard, and when you do stuff like that, that's when, people have a fire on their butt, and they want to go ahead and prove everybody like, yo, you talking about trading me, this, that, and the other. And then you also had the national media, first time in national media history, it seems like, that they were going for the Miami Heat. They're going for the Miami Heat. They didn't give Atlanta no shot of winning the game. And if you're cynical like Wes, if you're thinking
to go in.
Exactly. But again, if you think that people actually are more so like the Donahues and, with rigging games, things are different nowadays because you can't actually bet. Whoever betted on Atlanta won so much money yesterday because of the media. The media went ahead and, kind of made everybody think, weak-minded people that don't watch basketball think that they had no chance against Miami. And if they knew how Miami moved, what they do? When it's a good team, they play up to the standard. When it's a horrible team, they play like, oh, we're going to win this game, and then we lose this game all the time. So for me, that's what I had on my mind before the game. But also before the game, I was like, yo, I don't want to play Boston. So if we lose, it's all good. Now, if it was we lose that game and we're out of the playoffs completely, then I would have been more upset. But just the plain fact that we lost and we still get a chance to play the winners of the 9 and 10 spot. Obviously, I think we're going to win. I mean, I think it's Toronto and who is Chicago? Toronto and Chicago. So, I mean, I think
can't trust them at all right now, bro.
I know. My whole thing is I think that they did that for a reason because they were trying to avoid playing that team. And of course, they're not going to say that they're trying to avoid that team. You don't want to seem like you're scared. It's like, what? No. So I think that they just, and we got out rebounded like by 30. Like, I think Atlanta had like 60 rebounds and we had like maybe like 20 or low 30s of rebounds. Like, come on, man, that's not going to work. And of course, like you said, Kyle Lowry, he done put on his cape and he wound up being the star of the game and we wind up losing. The same way when we had Oladipo the other day, he was balling. I think he had 20-something points and we lost again. So I think they're doing that, to give these people that haven't been playing like that the opportunity to show the rest of the team that they're reliable when we actually do make the playoffs, because I still think that we're actually going to make the playoffs. I know you're kind of like, damn, I'm tired of watching them. Remember last podcast, I was like, they're not worth even talking about. And I didn't even or Chris didn't even post that video up, that podcast up about the Miami Heat, because again, they weren't worth talking about. And the reason why I really brought the Miami Heat up today is because, of course, we got the play-in game, but really to salute my dog, UD. You feel me? My dog, UD, gave us 20 years of being loyal to Dade County. He could have been went to another team, and he chose to stay in Miami. Some people going to call him grandpa. Some people going to say, like, you should have retired a long time ago. Not many players play 20 years in the league with one team. They can't say that, you know. So for him to say that, you know, he's the real Mr. 305. It's not Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade went to Chicago.
Yeah, he's the ultimate Heat lifer.
Exactly. You know, Wade went to Chicago. When Wade went to Cleveland, like, you know, come on, man. You should have known better going to Cleveland. Even though LeBron was there, you know, we hate Cleveland for how they stole LeBron, how they met up with LeBron while we was during the playoffs to get him back over there. Now, I ain't gonna knock the owner. I'm not gonna knock the owner. You trying to get your team back right. But for you know, that to happen, and that's one of the reasons why I think Pat Riley didn't give Wade that money, because Wade knew that LeBron was leaving and he didn't want to say nothing. You stay loyal to your homeboy, and then we wind up paying Whiteside, and we wind up paying Bosch, and we wind up paying, you know, certain people before you, even though at the time you was the face of the league. Of course, that person, the face of the league, decided to show up for UD. I understand, but I didn't like the way he wore them coochie cutters on the damn floor with the jersey. I'm like, come on.
Who was wearing coochie cutters, bro?
Come on, man. Wade, man. Everything that he be doing nowadays be getting me mad, man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing, boy? Like, yo, I understand you want to go ahead and support your daughter, or some people gonna say your son that is turned into a daughter, whatever it is. You feel what I'm saying? I understand that, but I'm just watching you now, like you over here doing this funny stuff, you know. And hey, it is what it is. I ain't gonna knock people. I don't know what people got going on, but like, come on, man. You know, everything you do right now, I kind of have an issue with a lot of times. And you know, I think he's more of a free spirit right now. So yeah, I know you were Gabby, but I don't know if, you know, if there's more to that story right there. But regardless of the fact, UD, you know, he had a great game. You know, I think he had like 25 points. He had like 25 points in like 24 minutes or something like that. 24 points in 25 minutes, something. Balling, shooting threes. He never shoot threes.
Yeah, I seen the highlights. I was just like, what's going on, man?
You feel me? Like, so for him to, you know, and not just that, but class organization, they made sure to hold him down on them years, man. Hold him down. You know, they didn't do the whole going away tour like they did D Wade, but they definitely made sure that the fans and himself knew that he was appreciated, everything that he do in the community. Loved that too. Like, it was just good to actually watch that game. I seen that game. Yeah, I was thinking about playoffs, but really I wasn't thinking about playoffs, because I knew that we were going to be the 7th seed, and I knew that we were going to go ahead and be in the play-in game. So it really didn't matter if we won or lost that game. But for me to go ahead and see him like do good, you want to see that, you know, it made me feel good too, you know, because, you know, born and raised in the county of Dade, that is UD, and I appreciate it, man. Salute UD.
Yeah, definitely salute to UD. I mean, just for the fact that he's from the crib. Yeah, he went to the hated Gators, but, you know, you got to take the scholarships when you get them or whatnot. But he grinded hard to get to where he's at. He had to play overseas to really kind of prove himself that he was NBA worthy. And then the Heat took a chance on him, man. It was one of the best chances that Miami ever took, because he was instrumental in that first championship for sure. That 06 championship, and he contributed in the other two championships as well, and even in these recent playoff runs, he was always that ear in these young guys' heads. And I think he's the reason that Bam Adebayo really developed to the player that he is. So definitely shout out to UD and what he's done. I had my head down because I was trying to look to see how many times the Heat lost to the Celtics, or what the records were with the Celtics and the Bucks. and I'm not sure, but what I am sure is what the Bucks record is 2-2. We won two and we lost.
Okay.
So I feel good about that. You know what I'm saying? But the Celtics, because I'm just kind of going game by game, and sometimes you miss, where they played or who
Okay.
they played. Look, first game looks like they lost 134-121 to the Celtics. Second game they won in overtime 120-116.
And we lost.
And then Celtics. We beat the Celtics 98-95. And I don't see any games after that. Did we only play them 3 times?
I'm not sure because I haven't watched all the Heat games this year because they weren't as watchable. You know what I'm saying? Like even last game, when we played Atlanta, man, we were down by 20. At least you didn't have to deal with the drama the whole time. You caught it in the end when it was like a 12-point lead. I seen when it was 20. It was a 20-point lead, and they don't brought it down to like 6, and then Trey Lance, what is his name? Trey Young actually shot a 3, 9, and then we just kept being bricklayers like MTV kept shooting bricks, and then we wind up, it wound up being something that we couldn't sustain, so we got smashed.
And then I'm looking at like who we potentially could play. The last game we played against the Raptors, we lost 106-92. The last time we played against the Bulls, we lost 113-99. Those were like in March. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I can't trust these boys, man. Not today. Usually I have my Heat hat or something like that, but I can't right now because I don't know. It's like they don't seem connected. They don't seem like a connected team. I almost feel like you kind of have to blow this thing up, man. And
you do.
I've been, I've been a Tyler Hero guy. I just feel like, okay, I'm glad we paid him. But at this point, I feel like we should trade him. I feel like
my God, really,
right? I know, bro. I think we should trade him because right now he's still a valuable asset. We can get like somebody valuable for him. If we can do some kind of combination trade to get, dare I say it, Dame, you know what I'm saying? Because Dame, I'm sure, is not happy. Dame decided to be loyal and stay with Portland. What did that do for him? Didn't even make the play in the game, bro. Couldn't even make the play in game. So, and then I don't know if you heard this, Wes, but he's been kind of having these messages, and he raps. In some of these raps, he said, yeah, chilling on the beach, something like that. And then then there was one part in his rap where he said something about Tyreek Hill, and he said something about, yeah, bro. I was like, hold up, man. If this guy trying to say he's trying to come to South Beach and he wants Pat Riley to work something out, because if he does, then we're a new team. We're totally.
Oh yeah.
You know what? And if we got to trade Tyler Hero to do it, that's what we do.
Take Duncan Robinson with you, Tyler. Take Duncan
Robinson and take Kyle Lowry with you. Take all them boys, and if you want to throw in, I don't know, Gabe Vincent for just because, or we stay with no draft pick, so I wouldn't trade another draft pick, but like whatever needs to be done to get Dame to South Florida is what needs to be done.
You giving them expiring contracts. I think, Lowry, I think he's an expiring contract. Tyler Hero, like you said, is he still got value. I mean, he just signed that deal. So I don't know if it was a 3-year, a 4-year or a 5-year deal. So you got 3 years left on the contract with that type of player. You and he, if you're going to be like, oh, he doesn't play defense, Portland doesn't play any defense, so it's not anything from their whole make. It's the same thing. And you got Duncan Robinson. You got Kyle Lowry, yeah, Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, and Tyler Hero. I don't mind doing that. I won't give you nothing else though. I'm not gonna give you Gabe Vincent. I'm not gonna give you Struz. I'm not gonna. Well, I may give you one of them. Matter of fact, because we get in Dame and Dollar. You know, if we get in Dame, then who you think is more valuable, Struz or Vincent? You say you're gonna get rid of Vincent?
I'd keep Struz. I'd keep Struz because he got size and he can shoot threes, and you still need that type of player. But yeah, out of those two, I'd get rid of Vincent. But I'd keep Caleb Martin though.
Okay, I'll do the same. I'll do the same. And we don't really have that much to give neither. So it's not like we just have, like you said, we don't have that many draft picks because of everything that we did in the past to get who we have now. And also like when it comes to Pat Riley, like Pat Riley's old. He's trying to retire. Like he's not trying to be in, I know you got UD that retired. Wade, he retired. You know what I mean? You got commentators that their whole career was with Miami. They retired. It gets to a point where you're like, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, I think Pat Riley's ready to give it up, but he's trying to make sure that at least when he do go, let's have them fall on their feet with Dame Dollar. I mean, definitely great team. Dame Dollar, Jimmy Butler, and Bam. That's a real big three. Not what we have now. We have, we and not just that, but I don't need to depend on Jimmy buckets to give me buckets. I think that's the whole reason why some days he be on, some days he be off, because this is not his main thing. You remember he came into the league being a defender. This offense that he got right now, yes, he got it, but all that stress, with all of that, everyone depending on you to be that guy, and you're typically when you came to the league, you weren't that guy to do that. Now you're the guy. We call you Jimmy Buckets for a reason, but if you got Dame Dollar shooting a three from the logo, oh my God, man! Like, yo, man, it definitely be a problem. So that would definitely be a good thing. I mean, you put me on point. People over here, you made me want to go ahead and listen to his music because his music.
Yeah, I heard it on the sports radio on 560. They was talking about it. I was like, oh wow, for real. And then somebody called in and told him like, yeah, he got a new one talking about Tua and Tyreek. I was like, yo, for real? No. So at least that's something to get us excited right now, because right now I'm just not excited about the Heat. I'm not excited about this game on Friday night. I'm more excited about the spring game, which is also this Friday night. To perfectly transition, the Miami Hurricanes football team will be playing its spring game on Friday night under the lights. This is different. They never usually do it at night. It's usually during the day on like a Saturday. So should be a good crowd right there in my neck of the woods over here in Fort Lauderdale at the Inter Miami Stadium. So should be a packed house because of the kind of the smallness of the stadium. But I mean, I just did a podcast with Frank and we talked about it, and we basically just kind of talked about what I want to see in this spring game. And what I want to see is some creativity from this offense. I want to see guys in space, man. Like I want to see Ray, catch a ball and go for like 20 yards. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that type of play calling from this new offensive coordinator in Shannon Dawson, because we hear all kinds of great things coming out of practice and this spring, how they love the offense and it's a lot easier to learn or whatnot, and tight ends are going to be moved all over the place, and it's going to be a quick strike type of offense or a quick decision offense for the quarterbacks, where they don't have to think a lot. They know they're usually going with that first read most of the time. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm also looking forward to just the one-on-one matchups, man. I kind of want to see Jacoby George? Are you gonna have a blur moment against Daryl Porter Jr. and then Kobe Young is gonna be matched up likely against Devontae Brown? Is Devontae Brown gonna lock him up? You know what I'm saying? Like either way, the thing about a spring game is like you usually always leave happy from a spring game because what the offense didn't do, then you're like, okay, well the defense is playing well, you know, and vice versa. But what you don't want to see is mistakes. You don't want to see a bunch of penalties. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see a bunch of drop passes. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see like a block kick or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of stuff that you don't want to see in a spring game. But either way, you're usually going to be happy with the results. But when I talk about the drop passes, that's kind of like what most fans kind of key in on these spring games. They'll be like, oh man, like I hate to say his name, but like Frank Ladson dropped 2 passes or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. And speaking on Frank Ladson, I haven't been hearing a lot of positive things about him.
Well, he's been hurt a little bit, so I don't even know if he's going to play for the spring game. Him and Michael Redding the third, have been hurt for most of the spring. They've been with the red jersey, so they probably won't play. James Williams is probably not going to play, although he did practice. Yeah, he came back like last week. He's probably not going to play. I wouldn't anticipate him playing. Akeem Mesidor is probably not going to play. And then, of course, the players that we haven't seen all spring are not going to play, like Leonard Taylor, Jafari Harvey, Elijah Arroyo. They're still recovering from their injuries. Of course, Zion Nelson, we haven't seen at all. Dude has been invisible this whole 2023.
Availability is accessibility. What? Huh? Availability is accessibility.
Of course. So I just really want to see Daryl Porter Jr., man. To be honest, that's the position that I'm worried about the most. That second corner. I'm not worried about Devontae Brown at all. I really think he's going to be a legit number one corner. It's that second corner, Daryl Porter Jr., and then that third corner, which is Corey Couch, likely going to be there. Are you going to step up and be a real physical corner? He's a decent cover corner, but they always have him at nickel. And when you play nickel, a lot of times you got to step up and tackle somebody. You know what I'm saying? And we really haven't seen a lot of that where he really like comes up and tackle. The DB that was coming up and tackling was Tyreek last season. You know, he was the one that would always come up and tackle somebody from a DB's perspective, or James Williams when he could tackle, and then Cameron Kitchens, of course, are All-American, man. Shout out to him for having his banner raised up. First current player to be an All-American and from the crib, man. Like this is a kid I Google right now. And my story comes up on him of when I wrote a story on him in high school for Sports Illustrated, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Boy. Yes.
Yeah. So, and that was a story that I was kind of talking about him getting training from Kenny Phillips, former Miami Hurricane, who, you know, has been training with him since then and obviously is showing up now. So shout out to Cam Kitchens and, you know, and him, man. I just kind of went off a little bit, so just tell me what you want to see.
Oh no, I want to see anything positive. I want to see the O-line hold up and be able to give any quarterback back there some time in the pocket to actually do something. You know, last year we had one of the worst offenses in the actual game or in the actual league, and we had no depth. Of course, you know, right now, you know, everybody want to talk about Pancake. Everybody want to talk about a few different players that definitely would be a positive. Yes, I see my dog putting that fit on. You know, I got the shirt.
I think I should start doing this. Every time. Every time we change topics, we change the hat.
You know? Throw it on. But yeah, I want to see that. You know, I've been hearing positive things about Coach Beard. You know, like all of our receivers are saying that they love the offense. Of course, you know, they have something to do with the offensive coordinator, but they love the small things that he's teaching them. You know, when it comes to fundamentals, you know, and for some of the players to actually say like this is the best coach I ever had, and you coming from Miami, You know, like that speak volumes for me. You know, you could have kept that to yourself if it was not true. You know what I'm saying? So for them actually saying that, these 4-star, 5-star players, I love to hear stuff like that. And I actually seen him in you know, doing his thing, you know, running with the actual kids in the drills, you know, like showing them physically how to do it. Personally, I also seen a recruit. He did the whole dance with the recruit. I love that. So it shows that you're relatable.
Yeah.
The recruits that's coming in Miami. I love to see that. He even went a little longer than the recruit, which was good too, meaning that he watched the recruit and he, you know, he actually likes to dance. As far as what I've been saying, you know, when it came to the Corey Brown, I've been hearing, and I think I seen a quote. I think 305 Sports or Kings County, you guys have went ahead and quoted him saying like, I can throw as much as I can run, something like that around them lines.
Yeah. That's on Kings County for sure.
And if that's the case, then I love that. You know, we already covered it before you guys went ahead and posted that. It was like maybe like a week later. But again, that shows you like I'm a fan. You're a journalist. For me to as a fan to be hearing that, and then it just wind up being the way that we kind of discussed prior. It means that it's solid. It's something that nobody's lying about. You know, what we're seeing is actually what's happening right now. So if he could be that type of player, and not just that, I seen that he weighs like 200 and a quarter now, 225. And you big like that, running like that. That's what I want to see. Of course, you know, you're gonna get Nathaniel Joseph giving all type of quotes. See, like I'm coming in early. I'm coming in early. I'm staying late. I'm doing whatever I need to do. Hopefully, all the other wide receivers are working like him, because you know, coaches love to see when players come in early. I don't need to ring your alarm. I'm not your alarm. You're gonna be here on time earlier than some players and probably some coaches getting reps in. Him saying like, look, if I don't got no quarterback throwing to me, I'll have somebody throwing to me. I'll find somebody to throw to me, you know. And then if there's quarterbacks out there, then I'll go ahead and make a play like that with the quarterback at hand. But yeah, to see, you know, just the energy, you know what I'm saying? Because like the energy is positive. Of course, I mean, when you speak in Miami from down here, it's probably going to be some positive things, but I've been hearing some negative things too. I've been hearing, you know, we got the Eiffel Tower. I know you've seen him. 6'7". 6'7". Yes. Judd Anderson, 3-star.
Yeah.
Now, I shouldn't be going crazy over a 3-star like that, but damn, I haven't seen a 6'7" quarterback in Miami for a long time. And he weighs like 220 pounds. So, you know, he's and he's like 16 years old. So, you know, there's more room to grow. So for me, you know, I know we didn't get what's his name? Whatever his name is.
Aaron Nolan.
He went to Ohio State. It's all good though, you know. But you know, it just shows that Mario Cristobal and the coaching staff is not putting all their ducks in one basket. They're going out and trying to get as many players as they can. If they can't get that 5-star or 4-star, they definitely got some a trick under their sleeves. And I like to see that. I like to hear that. I know our quarterback room is still kind of thin. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we got TVD. We got, what's his name? Ja'Cory Brown. You got Emory Williams, and supposedly now Judd. But he's not here. He's still in high school. So we still is kind of slim when it comes to the quarterback. You seen how it was with the Dolphins. We had 3 quarterbacks and we went to the 3rd quarterback. So if you're talking about college, which is probably I think a harder sport to actually play, because you're still learning compared to in the NFL. You've been doing this, you graduated from college, and now you're in the NFL. Yeah, you're still learning, but these people are still kids in college. So you may get injured or be more prone to get injured compared to being in a league. But yeah, man. for all these things to be happening and going in the right way, I'm hearing the right things. I'm matter of fact, even before I jumped on, I was on a Bleacher Report. I clicked on what I clicked on, speaking on Kevin Beard, and guess who popped up again? Marcus Benjamin. You feel me? And that was your article. I'm like, what? I definitely read the whole thing. But again, you're speaking on Kevin Beard. So, I like to see that too. My dog, his articles are the ones that plenty of fans can go ahead and click on. So yeah, if y'all can go ahead and do some good things, Miami Hurricanes this year, my dog got some more stuff to talk about that people can go ahead and read.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Bleacher Report does pull my stories a lot, and I appreciate them for doing that. I wrote that this morning. That's good to hear. I didn't even know Bleacher Report pulled that story.
Yep.
But yeah, I was really I wanted to write that because Kevin Beard seems like he is really making a big difference with these guys, because every receiver had these glowing things to say about Kevin Beard. A player that I'm really excited about is Isaiah Horton. I really feel like he's a player that's going to be doing some big things. This kid, I think he's around 6'4", and I'm not sure how many pounds he is, but he's a big kid, and he has been making plays this spring. So I expect him to be competing or be on the field this season. And what Ray was talking about, I mean, this guy, I love Ray, bro. Like, he's such a cool kid. And I wish I was that dedicated when I was 18. You know what I'm saying? Because for him to say, I have my alarm set for 5 a.m. and I don't even hit the snooze button. I just pop right up, and I go straight to the facility, and I just get on the jug machine to catch footballs. Is just like that's just some inspiring stuff for anybody to hear, And he's just an 18-year-old who was just in high school a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? He's probably gonna be going to prom soon. You know what I'm saying? Like that. This is that type of kid. Like, if I had a daughter, I would want him to date Ray. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how good I feel about this kid. He's a smart kid. He's really smart, really energetic, really polite. Just an all around, just a great kid. And I meant to ask him, actually. I'm actually gonna text him after we're done with this to see who else is out there with you on that jug machine, because he said there was about 3 to 4 players, and every now and again he sees like another person come, but I need to know who the hell else is working like that hard as he is, because I would think probably X is out there. I would think probably X is out there because X has kind of got that same mentality. When you talk to him, it's like that same, I gotta, it's really kind of, for me, I understand it because it's that little man mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because we always got to try to perform. We got to try to perform higher than everybody else because we're smaller than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand why people like X and Ray are out there working twice as hard than a guy like Isaiah Horton or a Kobe Young. So yeah, I'm really excited about this wide receiving core. We'll see how many balls they drop, because somebody's going to drop a ball. We'll see how many balls they drop during the spring game. I'm excited about the tight end position as well. I think I told you this the last time, but I saw Elijah Arroyo at the pro day, and he looked like he's ready to go, and he wasn't wearing a brace. So I know he's itching to get back on the field, and that's another player at that position, which is a loaded tight end room. You got Cam McCormick, who's been there for 700 years, you know what I'm saying, a transfer who's really in his 8th year of eligibility, which is crazy. He's had so many injuries. He's gone through the COVID year, so he's gained all of these years of eligibility. You got him as your veteran there, really for depth, not really, I would say, for like explosive plays. And then you got Jaleel Skinner, hopefully Arroyo, Riley Williams. I'm hearing a lot of good things from him, and he's just a freshman. I've seen with my 2 eyes of him dominating people, blocking out there in practice. So Really excited about Riley Williams for the future. For right now, he's not as you could tell still needs to put some weight on. You know what I'm saying? He still has to put some weight on as far as muscle mass, but just to see him kind of dominate and blocking already with him not even being as big as he is definitely a positive sign. And then the other positives are these 2 5-star offensive tackles that we got, man. We got to speak to them yesterday for the first time. They spoke to the media, and not my first time speaking to them. I spoke to them all through their recruiting process to Miami, but just to kind of see them at first, and they just seem like they're in a really good place. They know that they got to work to where they're going. A lot of people think Francis Malgo is going to start on this offensive line. Yep. And I think that's a real possibility. And people were trying to kind of project that to him yesterday in the press conference, and he was kind of being humble about it. And he was like, well, slow down. I'm far from that yet. I'm just working to that, which is the type of stuff that you like to hear from a kid like that. And then Samson, is working very closely with Francis, and they are practicing with each other after practice, so you got these 2 young, guns basically just sharpening each other. So I'm really excited about them and their future. And then Ruben Bain, man, I can't not talk about Ruben Bain before we end this podcast, because every time we ask about Ruben Bain, they're like, oh, he's a dog. Oh, he's a monster. Oh, like, man, he's amazing. Like, this kid, another kid just got here. Probably going to be going to prom soon as well. Mm-hmm. And he's already like making plays. I've seen it with my 2 eyes. Make plays out there on practice. The sky's the limit for him. I already told you the comparison of the ceiling that I see for him. Just he's just dominating out there, and then he's happy to be home, happy to be close to his family, happy to have his brother there. He said his brother after practice showing him stuff, learning stuff from Jason Taylor, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't really get much better than that when it comes to college coaches than being coached from a Hall of Famer. And also a Hall of Famer that's trying to prove himself as well. This is his first collegiate job. So he's like trying to prove himself as well. So excited for Ruben Bain.
Quick question.
So,
Quick question. When it comes to Ruben Bain, Hurricane Bain, that is, how do you feel about this new saying where we're welcome to Gotham City? Ruben Bain and Wayne, you feel me? Like, I know you heard that, people are, Ruben Bain, I know he had said something about, he cringed when he heard it, because most likely, like, he know what it is. But how do you feel? Because I don't mind it being Gotham City, because when I think of Gotham, I think of New York. But
right.
For them,
that's the thing. That's why I don't like it. That's the thing for me. That's why I don't like it. When it said Gotham City, I was just like, I don't like that at all. It's Hurricane Bain. You already got a nickname, that rhymes. And you got the pedigree too. His uncle Tobin Bain played for the U. His brother works at the U. You don't need something else, And then we're trying to do a Wayne and Bain with Jaden Wayne and Ruben Bain type of thing. I'm still kind of I like Jaden Wayne. He got great size, but I'm still kind of on a wait and see with him. Like, I'm not sure if I can like start pairing him with Ruben Bain yet. You know what I'm saying? I already think Ruben Bain is going to be all work. Jaden Wayne, you got to show me. Let's see you make a play. Let's see you make some plays at the spring game. I don't want him to turn into like a Cyrus Moss situation. Where's Cyrus Moss? Cyrus Moss has been kind of like nowhere right now.
He can't keep winning.
He was a big recruit last year, and people were excited about him. And I just don't want him to turn into that type of situation because they seem like they got similar personalities. And I'm trying not to judge him, but I just don't want to compare him to Ruben Bain just yet. I would put Ruben Bain in Akeem Mesidor, like, because Akeem Mesidor has already been balling. Now, Akeem Mesidor has been dominating last year. Akeem Mesidor played all positions, So, and Bain said he's been mentored by Mesidor as well. So
that's why he
not ready to shit. That's why he cringed. Right. That's probably right, Chris. Right. So I'm not ready for that yet. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this team, as I always am every year. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's been a while since we had such a recruiting class like this. Like I don't remember the last time that all these recruits were getting a lot of attention. Like people talking about Bobby Washington is super fast, which he is, obviously. I mean, he was talking about, Ray was talking about racing Bobby Washington. You know what I'm saying? A linebacker. Like, damn. Right, exactly. So that's how fast Bobby Washington is. People talking a lot about Ruben Bain. People talking a lot about Francis Malgoa. People talking a lot about Samson Okunlola. It's been a while since I heard a lot of talk of this many freshmen. And you know how many freshmen is not even here yet? Mark Fletcher's not here. Chris Johnson's not here. Collins Ashampong is here, but he's hurt. So you got another potential beast there.
Kinsler,
the player. Tommy Kinsler is not here. Frankie Tenelau is not here yet. So you still got a lot of players that have yet to even really make his way to South Florida. And from what I hear from Cristobal, I read between the lines with Cristobal. You got to read between the lines with him. You know what I'm saying? And when you read between the lines with him, first off, here's the first thing I read between the lines with him. He's really impressed with the offensive line. He's happy with the offensive line of where it's at right now. The second thing I read between the lines was that he wants some depth at DB and D tackle. He wants some depth there. So you know what that kind of tells me is that maybe the transfers are not really that great. You know what I'm saying? The Thomas Gore and the Branson Deans that transferred in, they're gonna be these rotational guys. They're gonna be like an Antonio Moultrie. You remember Antonio Moultrie from last year? Garrett Harrison Hunt is another player that hasn't been here this spring. He's been injured, and that's a player I think that's going to be in the rotation in the fall. So if Cristobal is like, yeah, we need some more players, he's going to go into the transfer portal for D tackle. He's going to go into the transfer portal for probably corner. Because to be honest, if Devontae Brown gets hurt, that's tragic, bro. That's tragic. That means you got to play a Chris Graves, or you got to play a Jaden Harris. You know what I'm saying? Players that really haven't had a lot of playing time and you hear a little bit from them, but not a lot. So you need another player. And to the other transfer, Terry Roberts, I hear some okay things about him, but not flashing as much. But if you get a couple of injuries at DB, then you in trouble, bro. You in big trouble. You in big trouble when you're going to play against a Clemson and you'll play against a Texas A&M or even a Florida State, where they're going to have a player, a wide receiver on their side that's going to burn, the second or third corner on our side. So, those are the places I'm concerned. Surprisingly, I'm not concerned at linebacker at all. I'm confident in Francisco Malgoa. I'm confident in Wesley. I'm confident even in
Corey Flagg.
Corey Flagg, being that he's not the main guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not the main guy. He's not going to be the main guy. Like, let's be real. I like Corey Flagg. He's a smart player. He's a little undersized. He's not as fast. Those are his downfalls. It's not his head. He's always in the right place. He's not big. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes he doesn't make tackle because he's just not strong enough. and then he's just not fast enough. You know what I'm saying? He's not as fast as Bobby Washington. He's not even as fast as Keontae Smith or Wesley. So that's the only thing I worry about him. But I like the fact that you got a veteran there as a backup in the rotation. Keontae Smith, I've heard good things about him. They calling him K4, like that's legit his nickname. No one even calls him Keontae Smith. That's actually a good thing when you got a nickname. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's going to step up. I feel like he's going to step up this season. Towards the end of the season, I liked what he was doing. I felt like he was finally running guys down, finally showing his speed. And he's a player that could have easily transferred out. He chose to stay. So I think he really wants to prove that he deserves to be on this team. So I'm excited about him. Safeties, like I said, James Williams, I think, is finally going to get the toolage that he needs, because the defensive coordinator, Lance Guidry, former defensive back, he's been working very closely with James Williams. I think James Williams is finally going to step into his own, like how he's supposed to. He's been good, these past couple years, but he hasn't been great. There's been moments where he's been bad, where he's been bad. But I think he's going to be more consistent, this season. And then you got Caleb Spencer, who I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about him, and I think he really can, get on the field, in the spring game at least to really kind of show what he can do. And then I'm hearing a lot of good things about MarcWes Williams as well. MarcWes Williams is a player that defensive backs coach Jamil Adai mentioned, and he's called him a pleasant surprise. So MarcWes Williams is another potential player that we'll see, at safety, maybe at the nickel, to back up to Corey. Who knows? But yeah, I'm generally excited about this team. The other thing I want to see in the spring game, bro, I want to see the reemergence of Don Chaney.
Me too.
Of Don Chaney. Don Chaney, we need to see you come back to where you was like 2 years ago, and when I used to watch you in high school and cover you in high school. Because Henry Parrish has been getting glowing recommendations, but and Henry Parrish is what he is. He's a really good, smart running back. He doesn't have track speed, but he gets you yards. He gets you positive yards almost every time. And that's why he's the number one running back, because you could trust him to get 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 8 every now and again. Don Chaney, you're hoping he becomes this short yardage running back and, can break one every now and again. You don't have Rooster no more. So you don't have this explosive back no more. So you're hoping that Trevante Citizen, who hasn't played a college down in his life, coming off a major knee injury, is that guy. But he's not going to play in the spring. And then you're also hoping that Chris Johnson, your recruit, comes in and is that guy as well. But to me, I don't think his body is ready to take punishment on a college level yet. And then Mark Fletcher, I think Mark Fletcher, once he gets on the field, is going to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Yeah. I really do. He's the total package to me. They used to call him young Derrick Henry in high school. That's what the coaches used to call him. So I can't wait for him. He's another really great kid, polite kid to talk to or whatnot. I can't wait to see him on the field, but we won't see him until the fall. Let's see some Ja'Cory Brown, bro. Let's see some Ja'Cory Brown throw the ball well. You know what I'm saying? Prove, because it seemed like he had something to prove about being a black quarterback and being categorized as a running athletic quarterback.
Sound like Lamar.
Right. Basically what we kind of see him as right now. No one sees Ja'Cory Brown as a good passer right now. So I think he's out to prove that he can throw the ball well, and he's going to get some chances. I mean, they may play Tyler Van Dyke for a quarter, maybe a quarter and a half. After that, it's going to be Ja'Cory Brown. I would think Ja'Cory Brown's going to play the entire third quarter, some of the second quarter, and then they may let Emory Williams get the whole fourth quarter. That's what I think is going to happen. But Ja'Cory Brown's going to have an opportunity to show what he could do throwing the ball, and I hope he can do that, man. Because if Tyler Van Dyke hurts himself again, then it's going to be all on him. And based on this offense, you can't just run it. You have to be able to throw it accurately.
Well, I mean, I like I said, I think he's going to be accurate from what I've been hearing. And let's see what they do on Friday. But is it going to be actually televised, or I know it's open to the public.
Yeah, it's going to be televised. I think it's going to be on ACC network.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm looking at this weather now. It's been raining for the last 3 days. Hopefully, it doesn't rain. Like you said, it's a nighttime game. Because
I checked the weather.
Going, huh?
I checked the weather. It says it's not going to rain, but you can't really trust South Florida weather like that. But
yeah, they bipolar.
Yeah, that bipolar weather, you just can't trust it. But at least it's saying that it's not going to rain. That's positive. So we'll see what happens. Either way, I'm going to be there, of course. If it rains, I'm in the press box. If it's not, I'm on the field.
Perfect, man. If it's raining, I'm at the crib with a kill, and if it's not, I'm at the crib with a kill. but definitely watching, and looking at these players again, because everybody's new. I got to get familiar with the new numbers of these players, with the new names of these players. So maybe in the first quarter, I may not even recognize a lot of people. Yeah, TVD. Yeah. Cam Kitchens if he does play, but for the most part, everybody else, I'm gonna have to wait for the announcer to actually say this is Matt Ogoa, this is this person, this is that person. Or sometimes some people just
I got you, bro. I'll send you a roster, bro. Come on,
yeah.
Come on, man. You got a guy on the inside, bro.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. When you got your homeboy that is the truth, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Able to give me the scoop sometimes, But yeah, man, definitely I'm gonna be looking forward to that game. Of course, I know you're looking forward to that game because, of course, last year you was miserable in the box seats watching these guys disappoint us, and I was home watching us get this. At least I was home though.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think that's it as far as the Hurricanes.
Yes.
I do want to say shout out to the Panthers. The Florida Panthers made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Last night they clinched it with some other team losing.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching them all season either. I've been getting the alerts or whatnot, and I seen that they were just right there and to the wild card. I do know that Boston is like ridiculously good, and they actually clinch best record ever in the NHL this season. So by all means, hopefully we avoid playing them in the first round. I think we got to win this next game to do that. But shout out to the Panthers making the playoffs. No play-in game in the NHL. So they just made it. So we got something else to cheer for with the Panthers. And but that's it. That's gonna wrap things up. No Dolphins news, right?
Yeah, no Dolphins news. The only news too, he wind up growing a mustache.
Oh yeah. I did see that video, and he was like, "Woo, woo!" I'm really excited for this offense and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Miami getting to him, man. Like Miami's finally getting into his blood.
Yes. Which is cool though. So I think that's all we have. Of course, we'll speak more about the Dolphins when we get real news besides his mustache. Of course, we got the game on Friday with the Canes.
Got the draft coming up.
We got the draft coming up. We're going to talk about the draft. Huh?
Yeah. I was just saying we got the draft coming up in like 2 weeks.
And we may have the Heat playing Milwaukee in the first round if we make the actual playoffs, depending on if we
Wow.
beat Chicago or Toronto. But
See,
we'll
see,
see.
usually, see, this is how I could tell it's bad because usually, Wes, you are Mr. Positive when it comes to our Miami teams. You know, when it comes to the Dolphins, Heat, Hurricanes, you are for the most part Mr. Positive, and I am kind of usually, you know, I'm on the skeptic side of things or whatnot. But when you be like, oh, if we win, because usually you'd be like, when we win, you know, but right now you like if we win. So that's how
Yeah,
I know things is down bad right now.
yeah, it's down bad in Miami, but what can you do, man? You know, when you took speaking to Marcus Benjamin, you speaking to Wester Damas, like you go and get the real. You know, of course, I can't be delusional at this particular time. Our teams, both of them, the Panthers hasn't looked good all year, even though they're making the playoffs. The Heat hasn't looked all good, even though they're in the play-in. And you know, I got to go ahead and talk about them because we're all Miami over here, but I got to keep it real. We don't look that great. I still think we can do big things, but first thing we got to do is win one playoff game because right now I do not have any faith in the Miami Heat right now, losing to the Atlanta Hawks, one of the worst teams in the NBA. And we'll see what happens, because I do not need, of course, one of my homeboys calling my phone, and I'm not gonna mention his name right now because I'm not gonna give him no credit right now. But I don't want to hear nothing, So we'll see. Again, the playing game is on Friday. You got the Canes playing with the scrimmage on Friday. I'm not sure when the Panthers playoff start, but when it does, of course, you're gonna have an episode with me and Marcus. So if there's nothing
One more thing, man,
What's
before
good?
we go, man. I feel like we got to talk about this topic, man.
What's good?
And I was at the Final Four. First off, let me just shout out the Canes. Great run by that team, best run in school history. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed myself at Houston at the Final Four. If you follow me on social media, you've seen everything I've been posting. Great experience, unfortunate end, but at the same time, the national champion, we held them to their lowest point total. So I don't know if that's a victory or not, but still,
more victory.
Miami, yeah, more of a victory. I think Miami had a great season. It was a great experience covering them all season. Shout out to the women's team as well. They had a player drafted in the WNBA, Destiny Harden. Great young lady. Liked covering her as well as the team. But which is really what I want to talk about is this whole women's basketball thing with whole Angel Reese and the White House thing. Like, first of all, let's talk about the first thing, which is the whole hand thing, right? Like what? Like first white girl, Caitlin. I forget her last name. I apologize. I know her first name is Caitlin. She could shoot the lights out. By the way, she's like the female Steph Curry right now.
Okay.
And she played against Angel Reese. By the way, Caitlin is a white girl from Iowa. And then Angel Reese playing for LSU, black girl, fine, by the way. And she, after she first Caitlin did the whole thing, and then she did the whole thing back when she saw she was gonna win, and she was pointing at her ring, you know what I'm saying? Which I love. We love that. We love that stuff. That's part of what makes sports great, and it was bringing attention to women's basketball, a sport that most guys don't watch. And I watched the game. Was a good game as far as scoring is concerned. LSU ended up pulling away and blowing them out in the end, but the game ended up like 100 to 80 for like a 40-minute game for a women's basketball game. That is pretty high scoring. So it was an entertaining game. So a lot of eyeballs was on it. But apparently when she did the whole thing, like people were mad at that. But they didn't say anything about Caitlyn doing the same thing. Now, albeit she did it in a more kind of annoying or aggressive way but it's because she won and she was doing it in retaliation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody did something to me or somebody plays me in anything and they say, oh, I'm gonna beat you, and they start talking smack and then I end up beating them,
you don't want to hear from
you know I'm gonna come at you even harder. You
Definitely.
know, and that's exactly what she did. And for some reason, the world couldn't take that, you know, and I just think it was just unfair for her to get all the criticism that she got, saying it was classless, tasteless, whatever, you know, words that they were using to describe her. I think it was totally unfair that she was getting that type of treatment. First, your comments on that.
Me, I agree 100%, man. You know, like, it's cool when you do it, but when I do it, people got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. That's not how it works, man. If you an athlete, if you're somebody that, not even an athlete, just a competitor, you know, you talking shit to me, saying that you're going to win and this, that, and the other, and the outcome is on the contrary, what you think I'm going to do? I'm going to rub that in your face. I'm going to rub it like I'm some rubbing alcohol. You know what I'm saying? and you're going to be mad, but I don't care, you know? And I'm not thinking nobody going to feel no type of way, because clearly you seen what the other person just did to me. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. You know, it's just like the person that egg people on to hit them. And then when they get hit, now they over here crying. Oh, they hit me. No. You was talking shit. You was over here doing all type of gestures because you thought you were going to win and you lost. And it's my time to go ahead and be that rubbing alcohol, like I said previously. But look, man, these people that have nothing but negative things to say about, you know, her doing that, they're just haters. The haters gonna hate. They gonna keep on hating. And again, I think it was perfect publicity for the WNBA, for women basketball, period. Because we're talking about women basketball, even though we're talking about something supposedly negative, we're still talking women's basketball.
Right. Exactly.
So, you know, that's a good thing. It's a positive thing. Yeah, exactly. All press is good press. But my whole thing is, when you have Joe Biden's wife, I don't even know her name, Mrs. Biden, you know what I'm saying?
Let's call her Mrs. Biden.
Mrs. Biden, like, you running your mouth. Me, I really truly think you guys are the ones that's actually the capital R word. But that's just me, you know? And for you, I've never seen where, you know, the NBA, you got you know, the championship, and the champions go to the White House, they go to Disney World, this, that, and the other. I never seen both teams go. I mean, when the Spurs went, the Heat didn't come. When the Heat won, the Spurs didn't come. The Celtics didn't come with. You know, we're not trying to be the third wheel. For you to say, oh, I think we should go ahead and actually invite both. Like, are you serious? I think you know, LSU team said that they're not going. I'm not sure if they said that or if it's that particular girl that's going.
I mean, Angel Reese responded and said, "Nah, we going to the Obamas then." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they said, "Oh, we're going to the Obamas." You know, and you know what's funny about I was reading the comments under that. They were like, "Yeah, they're probably gonna have better food anyway." I was like, oh man, it's great. But for real though, like, I love sports, man. I'm a sports guy. That's kind of well documented.
Yes.
And like, the thing about sports is that you have a winner and you have a loser. You don't get, I mean, this whole thing of giving participation trophies, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, if they are able to go to the White House by just getting to the championship game, what's the point of even playing the game?
Exactly. I'm gonna get a trophy anyway.
Right, exactly. What's the point of even playing the game? You played the game, you lost. It was decisive too. It wasn't controversial or anything. And the fact that she said, yeah, Iowa and LSU should come to the White House was one of the most disrespectful things I've ever heard in sports involving the White House. Like it just made no logical sense to me. And for you to say something like that and not be aware of the backlash that you're going to get from that, it's like you are just not conscious of anything, you know? Like you are a white woman and you said that a predominantly white team who lost to a predominantly black team should both come to the White House. It's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. When I was like, I saw the news like pretty instantly, and then like before the whole backlash happened, I had to call wifey and tell her how mad I was about it. You know, like that's how mad I was. And then I seen this whole backlash. I was like, okay, well, see, a lot of people feel like how I'm feeling because it was just so ridiculous. I just can't believe that she would say that and then just not try to apologize immediately for it either. It took a while.
Yeah, after the backlash, you know what I mean? She like, oh my God. She like, I'm about to cost my husband an election over here if I don't try to backtrack right now, man. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What are we doing over here? Like, makes no sense. Think about it, Marcus. Like people that are racist, people that are Karens, male Karens and women Karens or whatever, like Karens, period. They think that they're right, even though clearly they're wrong. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think, people that is racist, I'm not saying that she's racist, but probably is. People that are racist, they do racist things and say racist things and they don't even know it.
They don't even know it.
So hopefully now she know. Hopefully the LSU women's basketball team doesn't go. Hopefully they wind up going to Obama's house. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
And hopefully some of that energy can go back to LSU, because we shouldn't even much be talking about, they got problems with the White House, this, that, and the other. Another person that just steals the energy out of the room. Like, we just won a championship. I'm supposed to be happy, this, that, and the other, and I gotta address you.
Right.
But what can you do, man?
It's crazy. And like back-to-back controversy for this LSU team. And by the way, that's the team that Miami lost to, who ended up winning. It's crazy. Like Miami, we always losing to the champion. It seems like that always happens. It happened in basketball for the men's basketball team 2 years in a row. It had for the women's basketball team 2 years in a row. It even happened to the baseball team last year.
Hockey too. The Panthers.
The Panthers, right? They lost to
the Lightning.
Yeah, I feel like it happened to the Heat. Not last year, but I think the year before. Whenever the Bucks won.
Yep.
It happened that year. It's like it just keeps happening. Like, damn. And the Canes baseball team last year lost to Ole Miss in the playoffs. They ended up going on the run and win the championship. Crazy. But anyways, I guess you got to come through. You got to come through Miami if you want to win a championship. That's what it boils down to.
Hey man, no problem. Y'all could come. Y'all know about us. We got the beaches. We got the women. We got the weather. Not today. But it's gonna clear up. It's gonna clear up though, and y'all gonna be right back to living la vida loca in Miami. So I'm happy you brought that topic up. So
we had to. Remember the last time we brought up women's basketball, our views was booming. So definitely.
So let's see. So I guess this will really be the conclusion of the MarcWes Sports Podcast. If there's not anything else, Marcus, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
All right.
Peace. Perfect.